I speak the name of Jesus over you. In your hurting, in your sorrow, I will ask my God to move.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Dear Parents. Today, our topic that we'll be discussing is going to be living through your kids. Okay, where you want to start?
Yeah, all right. Think I should.
All right.
Yeah, this topic actually, to be honest, I'm not really a victim of this.
Okay.
If I should be honest, because ever since I was young, I always wanted to be a pilot. That's what I told myself. But I don't think my mother wanted to be a pilot.
Fair point.
So to be honest, I don't think I'm necessarily a victim of it, but I have met persons who basically would have struggled where this is concerned. So let's say the father wanted to be an engineer, and I actually know someone like this, and for the life of me, the father just kept pressing the son, you need to become an engineer. But to be honest, he had no interest of becoming an engineer, but because the father didn't get to live out that dream, he wanted his son to do that, and I feel like that's unfair, because we're not the same person. To understand that, yes, you wanted to do that, but allow us as kids to first of all find out what we truly like. Because now, growing up, I wanted to be a pilot, but look at me now, I've never flown a plane. so at the time, I, in my mind, thought that I wanted to be a pilot, but then that's not how it turned out for me. So it's like giving the kids space to explore.
What they want to be.
No, maybe they want to play football, maybe they want to cook, maybe they want to be an entrepreneur, maybe they want to be a lawyer, but don't lock in the child because you didn't get to do something you wanted to do. So to be honest, I didn't experience it myself, but I have seen where other person experienced, and it's not good.
I mean, as you were saying it too, I feel like with my parents, I didn't necessarily experience it through the way of like career choice. But for example, like I know a lot of persons used to call me like mini Denny's, and you become the mini version of your parents. And for anybody who knows my mother, we also look alike, so they say, but she's a beautiful woman, so I take it as a compliment. But yeah, I remember for a long time kind of feeling a little bit trapped in terms of like living in my mother's shoes, because she has a big personality, and any guys will be on the road, my mother know they bite man, the manner they stop light, like anybody who knows my mother knows she knows everyone, like from the person at the security guard to the person like all the way at the CEO. And I just feel like she just has this big personality, and sometimes I wonder, is it introvert? I'm that one that they talk is a little bit in, a little bit extrovert, not too
in the middle.
Right, somewhere in the middle. But there were just these times when, of course, having a mother who her personality is so big, I feel like I kind of had to fill those shoes. And so in some ways, I feel like I was I think she was living through me in that kind of way, because then she would really want to dress me up. It was kind of like her style, which, to be honest, my mother is a fashionista. But that's, well, not everybody, but Kevoy and other persons will say that I am pretty plain and boring. But I just like my dark colors, I like my nudes. But my mother is the bright colors. She wants to make the statement piece, all of that. But I have even found other friends of mine that, like, when I would explain to them that, like, being older now, even something that I have struggled with is like owning my own style, because I, for example, would have kind of like dressed the way that my mommy dressed for so long. And so even now that I'm trying to kind of like be confident in what I like, it sometimes feels so weird. You have persons who their parents are in leadership positions, or they see their parents do, join certain clubs. Like I know a lot of persons who join clubs just because everybody in their family has joined that club before, or has joined that sport before. So
even the school you go to, the high school.
Right. I remember even like for me and my mommy. So of course my mommy, growing up less fortunate and stuff, like she used to say like one of her dream schools to go towards XYZ. And so when she, got older and she got the opportunity, mind you, I don't really think it would have mattered to me which school I got to, but we're just trying to open up your mind in terms of just how much, like, what you want as a parent can just kind of be pushed onto your child. Sometimes it's for the good, and sometimes maybe not so much, because then they don't really know their own identity, which, as I said, I have found that at times, especially being older, where I like struggle with confidence, just because it's almost like I kind of have my mommy's confidence, but I don't really know what it is to have my own confidence. And like God has really had to be like teaching me about that.
I'm actually here thinking about it, and I'm saying it can also come in a negative way, where so okay, let's say, for example, my mother, she didn't end up get to finish school and all of that, and of course she don't want me to finish school, but then you have parents who are extremely smart, who are doing extremely well, they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're in high positions, they have PhDs, and because of that they pressure also their kids, because they want their kids to live up to what they are living up to. And I feel like that's also kind of a negative impact, because let's say your child is really not academia, like the school thing is not really for me. I like to bake, for example, but because my mother and my father, they are big in corporate, they're director of XYZ, they're saying, no, you need to do this, you need to do that, but really and truly, that's not what the child wants to do. So I'm even thinking that it can be bad or negative in the sense where parents who are really doing well, but they're forcing their child to
do well in the same way.
In the same way, right? And I feel like there's a lot of pressure on kids, just to live up to that as well. And we have heard kids in our institution, in Matthews Academy, where...
And for those persons who don't know, we own a math tutoring company called Matthews. Where we basically focus on teaching kids who are in grade 9 to 12, just the CSEC math syllabus, just in case you're wondering what is Matthews Academy.
Right. And I know at Matthews, we have kids where they're really stressed. Like they're truly depressed, because they're saying, yo, I'm letting down mommy, or I'm letting down daddy.
So much pressure
and
on them.
It's just so much. And I feel like parents, we really have to like take a step back and ask our children, okay, what do you want? Not what I want you to be, not what I want you to do, not how I want you to look, but what are your goals in life? How do you see this? And really listen to them, because a lot of them, they're really drowning when they go in their room and them lock up and you don't hear from them. This is what is really happening. They feel like they can't really say it to their parents, so they even say it to friends, and then the friends lead them into bad company as well. So for me, it is just very important to not impose on the kids what you genuinely want. Yes, there should be guidelines, but it you have to be careful.
Well, an excited was coming to me as you're talking, because I'm thinking, mind you, totally agree with that, because we deal with these kids on a regular, so we know the anxiety and just what they're going through. But I'm thinking about, as a parent, especially just thinking about the reality of our parents, coming from like low-income background. In their minds, what they've been taught is that education is the way out.
Yes.
And like, you come to your parents and you say, I want to become, like, I literally have this experience where a child told their parent they wanted to become a YouTuber. Nowadays generation don't know nothing about YouTuber. What do you mean you want to become a YouTuber? Mind you, like, the child went with a viable like proposal, because like he basically presented to the parent that I don't know if it was like one of the youngest YouTubers, but somebody who basically just play video games on YouTube.
Yeah, right.
But the point is that little boy is making more money than a lot of these CEOs in our country right now.
True.
Mind you, I don't know if that would have been the reality of the student that I was talking to, but that was what he brought to his parents. But like, I feel like we have to be a little bit sensitive even to the reality of like our parents, who there's this huge technological shift and there's a social media and stuff, but think about it, most of our parents even just stay on Facebook, whereas some of them will be on Instagram and stuff like that, but like the main thing is that they're still not exploring like they'll watch the TikTok but not use the TikTok. You know what I mean? They'll watch the YouTube but not necessarily be YouTube video makers. And so like for you to go to your parents and say, oh, I just want to be, I just want to bake or I just want to make TikTok videos. I feel like we have to be a little sensitive that they may also not even know what are the real possibilities. And it's kind of like, I know you used to do tracks, and I know like growing up, a lot of parents, if your child does sports, it's not that you don't believe in them, but you're more than likely to tell them, you still have to do your schoolwork, you still have to do something with school because
that was my mother.
Yeah, suppose you get an injury, like all of the suppose, you know what I mean? And I mean, we don't really want to live in the fear, parents, because I want you to understand that can also be very, very crippling for like, the devil to use fear against you to just to basically let you make your child do subjects they don't need to do, and all of these things in terms of the what if. So it's like you have to find the balance between the what ifs and your faith. You know what I mean? But I literally was just here thinking about it, that for parents who really don't understand and what they're accustomed to, is that they're very sure that accountants, lawyers, doctors, etc. make money, and they're trying to ensure that their children don't have to live in the same hand-to-mouth situation that they are. That's the only thing they know. So like, it's not that they want to boof down them child and say, no, you can't do that, but they also don't have enough information. So they're probably thinking, am I letting them down because they don't even, as a child, I might say, you probably don't even know what you want. You just want a passion. But what you need is something sustainable or stable, So I feel like it's finding a little bit of the balance of like parents getting information. So I think if your child comes to you and say, hey, I want to be a YouTuber or, like a baker, or for me, like when I went to tell my mother I wanted to be an entrepreneur, like for weeks, I mean, to be honest, she said, you want to be an entre who? An entre what? And I mean, she was just teasing me still, because everybody expected me to be so many other things.
Right.
But eventually I feel like she embraced it and she allowed for me to just kind of walk in it. But I do think there was some nervousness at the start because she didn't know anything about being an entrepreneur. So it's kind of like, how do I even help Mickey to do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I experienced the same shift as well when I was quitting my job to tell my mother, well, mommy, I'm not doing that no more. I'm now going to run my own business. With kind of a panic, like, okay, well, are you sure you want to do that? Like, are you sure? But for me, what is the solution? Because solution is important, and you touched on it. Is I feel like what's missing is information.
Yeah.
So I feel like if a child comes to a parent and say, well, mommy, I'm be a YouTuber. Instead of saying, no, you can't be a YouTuber, go take me a book. You say, all right, why do you want to be a YouTuber?
Like, help them to explore.
What does that mean to you? Is it something that you feel like you just like right now? Maybe you should start and see before you make a total transition. Just ask questions. Okay, how does YouTuber make money? How much money? Is it a monthly basis thing? Is it a yearly thing? Is it a short thing? Walk me through that process. And you would even send them to go and find the information. And maybe when they find information, I say,
maybe this is not for me.
Maybe I don't want to do this. So I feel like it's information. It is the balance. To not just shun them off. Because we as parents, not parents yet, but we as parents, don't believe in what they're doing, but really trying to find that information and give them that information so they can see if that is something they truly want to do. And if they find information that's something we want to do, I believe you should support them, like genuinely support them, and it's okay to mess up. Like, I know it's hard as parents to just say, but it is okay to mess up. I've messed up a lot, and I think, thank you God, I've turned out good. But I have also made a lot of mistakes along the way as well. So I feel like for me that is the balance, or the solution to the problem is give them some room to breathe, to figure it out, and also try to help them to find the information as much as possible to see if that's what they truly want.
Yeah, like, because even as a small testimony, so last year we had a student, and she basically is really good at art. Oh gee, if I knew her handle right now, I'd definitely give her a plug. But
let me try to find
so
it.
like she's really good, self-taught and everything, like absolutely amazing. Thought she was going to be a mathematician. She totally broke my heart, but it's okay, Kimmy. And you know, she was contemplating about like should she go to sixth form or should she go to Edna. And you know, I think, mind you, she has like the most supportive parents that we had in Matthews Academy, and they were willing to support her whatever she decided. So she was kind of just waiting on her exam results. But I think it came down to a little more than results. I think she wanted more information. And then we remembered that we had a friend who also does art now and went to Edna Manley, and we were able to like link them up, and you know, she was able to get the right advice. And guys, Kimmy right now is at Edna Manley, like doing what she loves. And that's simply because even though, yeah, they could have gotten the information just online, but I think just the fact that she was able to get that personal connection, I think allowed for her parents to make that decision with her, like very confidently. All right, give me the plug.
Yeah, so on Instagram, it's at art by Key
Or
Kii. So art by Kii. Yeah, just give her a follow. She's really a wonderful artist. We are really, really proud of her.
Yeah. So it just came to mind that, you know, even as you as parents, what if you don't actually know, like your child comes to you and say they want to be a YouTuber, a baker, in the tourism industry, whatever, and you actually just wouldn't know where to lead them to. I think this is what we're going to do in the community. So like start to send us the DMs, the emails, whatever it is. Let us know who you would want to see come on the podcast, and we could have them talk, and that could be your way of, you know, getting the information, and you have your child sit down and watch it with you. I feel like that's what we're trying to do here, is like we're thoroughly honest, and that parents don't know where to get the information, so let us help you to get the information.
Yeah, I agree. Because as we said in our previous video, this is just a safe space for parents to learn and to educate themselves, so they can get this information and pour into their children. And I really just hope this video was a blessing unto anybody or everybody who is watching, and we look forward to growing our community with you.
I speak the name of Jesus over you. In your hurting, in your sorrow, I will ask my God to